Good evening, good morning. Yes, how are you doing today? Let's go to the office and we'll have some fun. Light should be on. Yeah, lights on.
Cool. So this is where the magic happens.
Well, I wouldn't say magic, but yeah, this is where all the stuff happens.
All the stuff and things.
All the stuff and the things and the coffee and my fan base, my cameras and my tripods and my old stuff. Slick tripod from 1972. It's their very first tripod they made, which is a solid steel tripod. It's heavy, but that is as stable as you're ever going to get.
Yeah, that's
a lot of stuff. Backup cameras, backup lenses, backup flashes. This camera comes from 1963. It is the Miranda, the very first one where they moved away from the old style of film camera to the new style of film camera. So this does actually have a waist level viewfinder on it. Oh, my day job, I work with fingerprints. I develop fingerprint algorithms, devices, and I build fingerprint devices and such. I'm a biometrics engineer / developer. So anytime you use your fingerprint on something, yeah, I most likely worked with something similar or with that specific device as well. Yeah, it's a nice contrast. Yes. For example, my day job is an extremely logical type of work. And my escape from my extremely logical work is being creative, taking photos, creating really badly edited videos. I was in photography before I started my day job. And what happens is, photography is something that I've always enjoyed. I've always loved it, especially macro photography, which we're going to speak about today. But the way I got into photography was many moons ago. The very first phone I got with a camera in it, I used to take photos when we visited my grandmother in a garden of photos, and she said, "Wow, that's nice, you should do photography." So I'm doing photography. So that's how I got in photography. But it's different because I didn't have all the nice gear I have today. So most of my photography skills and such I learned while using a cell phone. Yeah. I learned my composition skills, all that type of stuff. I built up all that knowledge before I actually bought my very first camera, because I'm very finicky about the stuff I buy. So I did a lot of research before I even bought my first camera. I did more than a year's worth of research between all the different brands and stuff before I bought my very first camera, which was a Nikon D5600. But I got into photography because I like taking pictures. It's fun. I mean, what more do I say? Yeah. Okay, cool. And with macro photography, it allows me to not only capture what I see, but share it with other people. Yeah. And because I see some really weird stuff. I mean, I sent you that photo of a ant eating other tiny little insects and stuff. I actually found out he's milking the insects for the nectar so they can eat, and he runs back to his little hole when he's done. Jesus. And I've seen spiders eat flies, eat ladybugs and stuff. They just look at me and go, eh, whatever, and they eat. And the reason I enjoy insects and bugs so much is their world compared to our world's completely different. What they see as small, we see as extremely tiny. I mean, some of the things that bugs look at and do every day, we would never even see unless you had macro photography.
Okay, so tell us a bit about your I think that's your first macro lens that you built.
Yeah, what happens was, let me just put my coffee down and I'll show you. Because I'm such a technical person, I actually got a very old 400mm lens, and I converted that to a macro lens. Ugh. This used to be my baby. And this lens is awesome because you also have your drop-in filters right into the lens.
Drop-in filters?
Yeah, drop-in filter system. And the nice thing about this is this gives me anywhere between, depending on how I arrange the configuration of the lenses inside, between 1 times up to about 10 times magnification. It is a bitch to focus, unfortunately, because it's so old. You don't have autofocus, and using this lens, your plane of what's actually in focus is even smaller than a piece of paper, and that gets very difficult because I use this to take photos of grains of sand. Wow. And things as such. I take photos of hairs for the fun of it with this lens. This is my old one. This is an awesome lens. I love it, but it's big, it's heavy. You cannot take it everywhere with you. The G9, the macro four thirds system, a macro lens, is this tiny. Yeah. Now this is the very first macro lens I've ever bought. Mind you, new. This is the new one that I bought. This is so awesome. Going from this to this, it opens up a lot. Not only that, but this has autofocus, and the video quality of this lens is damn fine.
Let's talk about your minimalist life and what sort of space you're in that kind of, I don't know if you get depressed or how it works for you, but what is a bad space for you and what is a good space for you to be creative and to function in the world? If that makes sense.
You see, that's a little bit different with me.
Yeah.
I function in every type of space because I've been in spaces where you've got no creative freedom at all, and I'm still able to create stuff with it. I think it's different between person to person. For me, because I'm not only logical, but I'm creative as well.
Yes.
Any space works for me. I can literally be in the middle of the desert and I'll still find something to do to keep myself happy. There's literally no spot on this planet which will make me unhappy. So for me, you can drop me anywhere on the planet and I'll be happy. Places that are untidy, they don't really bother me much because an untidy place is an opportunity to find insects hiding away. And the same goes with my entire lifestyle. I'm very minimalistic. I don't have things on the walls. I don't own things like that because those are optional extras to keeping yourself happy, more or less. Me, I'm just happy. I don't know. I like it. I like helping people. I like keeping busy. And keeping busy means you deal with a lot of stuff, especially in the IT field, which I do work because I am also an IT specialist. Most of the places I work in, you literally only have this much to crawl through and you need to pull cables. So you cannot be full of stuff, unfortunately. So environments and such, I'm extremely adaptable and I adjust quite fast because you have to, especially in the line of work that I am. There's no specific environment. I cannot go to a client's premises, for example, and see this stuff and go, this is bad. I smile, I enjoy it. You cannot just go through life being unhappy. I mean, just find stuff that make you happy. Just tiny things. You don't need huge things to keep yourself happy. You just need one small thing every single day and you'll always be happy.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I try and find all these tiny things, even with macro.
Enjoy.
Or just simply a good cup of coffee and I'm happy for the entire day. Yeah. So I'm extremely easy to please, and I think that's why a lot of people get along with me so well, because I'm so laid back and easygoing, and I love helping people and showing them the things that I create, the things that I do and all that type of stuff. So for me, it's very different compared to other people. Yes, some creatives, when they get into a very, very bad place and spot, they just go, man, I can't do this. This is too much for me. I look at it as a challenge. Yeah, it's a bad spot. So what? Bad spots come and go. Yeah. Who gives a hell? Literally, who gives a hell? It's just a bad spot for now.
Yeah.
Later on, that spot's going to be gone. Just move on. Just smile. Keep going.
That's great, dude. But would you say that, because you said you've been to war-torn areas and that kind of thing, would you say because you've seen a lot, it gives you a bit of perspective on life here and now?
It does. But if you go to places like Iran, for example, where like the city in Mashhad, I mean, people there, they've got nothing. They literally only wear pieces of paper and such on their feet, and they still smile. They still keep going. You will not find one person in that country coming to you to beg for money. They all try and find something to better themselves. Now, once you see that inside a country and you look at things that happen in your own country, it just makes you think that, I've got it good. Yeah. my life's not that bad. The worst day on my side is for them the best day. So that contrast and seeing and experiencing things in different countries and seeing how bad people actually have it makes you happy with what you have. So that's why I'm so happy, because even the small things like this cup of coffee, that is a very, very, very large privilege which I take for granted every day. Yeah. People overseas, people that I've seen, people that I've spoken with and worked with, they don't even have water. Yeah. There's a silver lining in everything. Yeah. No matter how bad it gets, there is always something good somewhere. I matured at a very young age. Yeah. Because my father started working in Nigeria and places like that. So at a very young age, we had a lot of fun.
So you traveled around with him?
No, not when he went overseas back then, but with him being gone, it did open up a whole different new things that you need to do and need to have a look at. And not only that, but I mean, at a young age, I was in grade 3 and I already decided I wanted to do IT. Yeah. So from a very young age, I already started with all my training and skills development specifically focused into doing IT stuff. Hell, I maintained school IT systems when I was in grade 4 and 5, and I did that all the way until I finished school. The person I am today is because all the things that I've experienced.
Yeah. So tell us about the benefits of going Micro Four Thirds and why the G9 is suddenly a great package. Well, what happened?
What happened is the end of last year, the G9 got an update, a firmware update, which made this so nice. The autofocus is super fast and snappy. The IBIS, It's nice, I love it. I mean, you've seen the IBIS, I can handheld this and it looks like I'm on a freaking tripod. Fuji also has good IBIS, but it doesn't come close to this. Yeah. Not only that, but the lenses are awesome, and the specific reason I chose the G9, it's Panasonic's flagship Micro Four Thirds photo camera. Yes. But with the firmware update that came out, this now competes with the GH5 in the video category. Yeah. This has changed my photography for macro photography in a very, very big way. The G9 for my use, perfect, I love it. For macro photography, perfect. Landscapes, I can do 80 megapixel photos on this. So for landscapes, yeah, it's cool. I just need this on a tripod and then I'm good to go. So, cool. Love it. Oh, I love it so much.